Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Ben Shalom here in London, just a few days away once again from Savannah Marshall against Claressa Shields. Is this now a bigger fight than it was 5 weeks back?
Look, it was massive last time. The momentum from the first fight was ridiculous. The press conference, everyone was saying like it was one of the best press conferences they've been to. The way that they bounce off each other, the chief support, everything is built for a massive night. And look, it's bigger because we've had 4 extra weeks. People know the story now. People know the fighters that didn't know before. And yeah, it's going to be a special week. I can't wait for the press conference tomorrow. I think it's just going to grow and grow, and it's a massive moment for the sport of boxing.
Yeah, huge moment for the sport. Sellout of the O2 Arena, and 2 of the biggest stars, not just in women's boxing but in boxing collide. And I think when that arena's full, it's going to be a special atmosphere.
Exactly that. I think it's one of those, for us, one of those pinch yourself moments. It's a fantasy fight with Shields and Marshall. Then to have the all-women's card, that was a brave decision by the team, to be honest, and a long-term decision. We want people to tune in that aren't boxing fans on Saturday night and go, I cannot believe that's women's boxing. It's sold in over 100 countries. It's a ridiculous night of entertainment. I'm almost glad that we've got the time to do it justice on this day rather than last time. And yeah, I'm obviously looking forward to it. And I think the fighters know how big this is. They know what a moment this is. They're fighting for more than just themselves. And it's amazing that Lauren and Caris and Caroline, who are on the card, can now say, wow, this is how big this can get. You know, when Savannah and Claressa and even Michaela and Alicia turned over, they turned over because they love the sport. They never truly believed that they would headline the O2 and have this level of interest in the sport. So yeah, it's a big moment, and for everything that's going on in boxing that's not right, this is one that is right. And that's not just down to us, that's down to 5-10 years of good investment, good role models coming through the women's sport, good work from GB and Olympic boxing, and it's culminated in Saturday night.
Like you were saying there, everybody who's on this card is there because they love the sport. When they started out, there wasn't the big money, there wasn't the big occasions like there is now. Everybody who's here is here because they love the sport, and I think that's what we're going to see on Saturday. And
that's why it was, you know, when we cancelled on September the 10th, usually you're not getting all the fighters back in the ring. You've got people that will kick off, you've got people that won't understand, and although it was nothing to do with us, the fighters, as you said, they love the sport. They know how important this moment is, not just for them but for the sport, and they've all been unbelievably professional. Having to contract fighters all again is painful, but they made it easy, and fair play to them. And as you say, they could not have dreamt of this. They love this sport, and this is what boxing is about. They are role models for our sport. They are people that can be ambassadors for our sport. They are people that can make people that are outside the sport looking in to be proud, to be involved. And yeah, it's I'm just glad it's on. I'm glad that with everything not happening, this one's happening, and it's going to be huge.
Obviously, it's going to be a massive occasion, as we've said. Is there any danger that the negativity from the sport over the last week or so has any knock-on effect on the event on Saturday?
No, I don't think so. I think the only danger the danger is a long-term danger. We don't want I don't want to stick the knife in after last week. Everyone expects me to because I'm a rival promoter, but it was a disaster for the sport, in the sense that of the way it was, of the media attention it's brought to the sport. It crossed over, and now how are people viewing boxing? And I just hope that it actually turns out to be a pivotal moment in changing. That's why we got in the sport. We got in the sport because we felt like that it needed to be changed. We didn't start this business because we thought there was nothing that needed to be developed in boxing. We'd started this business and drove into a sport that's so hard to get into because we believed it was necessary and it was needed, and that's what makes us so passionate. That's why we work every day. And so I'm hoping that, you know, we see a lot more than what happened last week, and that was the tip of the iceberg. And I'm hoping that it can change it. And to be honest, this week is needed. Boxing needs this right now more than anything. I'm hoping this is a perfect tonic on the biggest platform to say, you know what, boxing's an amazing sport if it's done right, and if people take responsibility. And we invested in this night because we think it's not a pay-per-view, it's not a heavyweight chief support so we can make it pay-per-view. It's an all-women's card on the biggest platform possible because we believe in the sport and we believe in what this can do for the sport. And I hope and pray that this is a major night for boxing, and we see it on the back pages for a good reason.
I do want to ask you quickly about the adverse finding for Conor Benn, and Obviously, Ben Eubank was going to be a huge show. It was bringing in a brand new audience. I think the fact that audience has not been able to see that show and the marks it's left is sort of a real negative, but you can bring a positive with this show.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good. We all know it wasn't good. We saw the public opinion. We saw how it was dealt with. We saw how long it had been known. We saw everything. We saw the open workout, and it was. People think I would be glad because it makes us look better. No, it's just shit for the sport. Do you think the casual fans know what's this and what's that? They just see boxing in a bad way. And as you said, this night is the opposite. I'm hoping, and it will makes the sport look good again. It will show how amazing it can be. And I don't want to say anything more about last week. We all know what it was, and I'm just hoping people take responsibility. We can move forward together. We're all in this sport to try and make it the best place it possibly can be. That's what we're focused on, and hopefully we see changes.
I want to ask you about the possibility of Chris Eubank getting out now. Is it going to be on Sky? Where do we think we'll see Chris Eubank Jr. next? Again,
it's up to Chris. It's up to Wasserman. I felt the person I felt most sorry for last week was Chris. I went to see him after, and he was it was hard for him. I obviously got to know him over the past two events, and I knew his brother very well. And he's been going through a tough time, and that was not easy for him. But I think he's come out of it unbelievably. I think the way he carried himself throughout the whole process, people have a newfound respect for him. I've always known him to be that person, and he's going to get his opportunities now. And there's some big fights out there. We know that Liam Smith wants that fight, but Liam Smith has a lot of options and a lot of opportunities. I just hope now Chris gets in the big fights that I know he wants, and hopefully we'll see him fighting very soon.
Hughie Fury versus Michael Hunter was in Manchester, was in Birmingham, now unfortunately not going ahead. Spoke to Peter Fury earlier. He says Hughie's maybe taking a little bit of time out. Is that the case, do you know?
Yeah, he needs to. I think, look, he's ill. It's not good. Hughie is been boxing since he was 14, 11 years old, really. Never had a break. And he's ill, and I think Michael understood that in the end, and my thoughts are out to him because he loves the sport. That's all he knows, and he wants to take on the biggest fights right now, and he feels like he was coming into the prime of his career, that he really wanted to turn the needle, but he'll be back. He just needs some time off. Michael's WBA #1. He wants to fight Daniel Dubois. We hope that they will call for the mandatory, and that will be a fight that we see in the near future. But yeah, Michael's okay. Hughie's okay. Hughie needs a bit of time. But yeah, Michael will now get his chance, I hope, to challenge for the interim title.
Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora. I think a fight that nobody thought they'd see again. A fight maybe that the fans don't want to see. What are your thoughts on that fight?
It's unfortunate because we all wanted to see Tyson AJ. I wanted to see it, and I'm hoping boxing stops this politics and we just see the fights when they should be made. And that fight should have. I was hoping to see it. I did say at the time I doubt it happens at that point because I could see why it wouldn't happen. But anyway, it is what it is. I think Tyson Fury's an entertainer. He's a once-in-a-generational talent. Whenever he steps in the ring, people are going to watch it. Derek's an entertainer. It is what it is. But we'll get the big fights next year, and I'm hoping Tyson will fight Alexander, and we'll see a massive unification. But it's a good time for the heavyweight division, and I'm sure we'll see the big fights soon.
What have we got coming up on Boxer towards the end of the year? I know up in the northwest with Tasha Jonas. Anything else particular planned before the end of the year?
Yeah, so we've got Dalton Smith against Casey Benjamin, which we think is a big fight. Two massive talents in UK boxing. Brad Ray's got a massive fight against Tyler Denny on that card. Fraser Clark's back out against Kamil Sokolowski, which is his biggest test to date. I know obviously people are looking forward to seeing him tested. And then we think we've got 5 shows before the end of the year. We've got a very busy end of the year. So we've got end of November, and then we're hoping for 2 in December, and some big names, some big signings. It's coming into our second year now, and we really think we can turn the screw, and we're going to see some massive nights before the end of the year. So excited, but Saturday night is so big, and that's what we're focused on right now. And it's thank you as well to WBC Maurizio. He's been very, very supportive. Obviously, have a new belt to commemorate Queen Elizabeth as well. It's just a huge occasion, and hopefully it's the start of a massive end to the year for boxing. And everyone feels a little depressed after what happened last week, and I think we just got to make sure we learn from it and we have a really, really strong end to the year.
Perfect. Really appreciate your time, Ben. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.